How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about this new poll from Gallup that says 81%, I repeat, 81% of Black Americans want more police or the same amount of police in their neighborhood, not less. 19% want less, 20% want more, and 61% want the same level of police force in their neighborhood. So this tells us that this whole defund the police movement is not popular at all in the Black community, because anybody that is thinking logically will understand that if you defund the police, you're going to just ultimately have less police. That's just a fact. There's no real way around it. You're going to have less police if you defund the police. This is not a popular thing in the Black community. Okay, let's talk about the hood. Not all Black folks live in the hood. Let's talk about the hood, though, because this seems to be where people are focusing on that want to defund the police. They say, oh, Black folks are being targeted in the low income area. We got to defund the police. What they say? They say that the Black community is over policed. I've never heard that in my life growing up, and I'm from the hood. I know what it is. I've never heard that term until I got to be an adult, until I got to be like 30. That's when I first heard that term, when I got to be grown and out of the hood. Okay, this is not a real thing that anybody complains about in the Black community. People that live outside the Black community, they complain about it. Now, let's talk about this poll. This was taken with a large sample size, 30,000 people, and it was broken down into 4 racial groups: Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, in that order, if I'm not mistaken, on the actual list. And I'll place that on the screen before you. Now, to be fair, most of the numbers are the same across the board, which points to something else, that people aren't that much different. Asians had different numbers. I'm not really sure how many Asians were in the poll as part of the 30,000, but their numbers were different. They generally want less police more than every other group, but it's still not that many of them. It's still not like 50% or anything close to being the majority of them. Most people want the police to be the same level that they are right now. That's generally what it is from what I'm seeing right there. But I'll be interested to see what this poll will look like if you asked different races about the other race. Okay, like if you ask white, Hispanic, and Asian about the police in the Black community, and then you compare their responses to what Black folks say about their own neighborhoods, I can almost guarantee you, with almost 100% certainty, that the white, maybe even the Asian responses to the Black community policing would be much different than the Black community. They would say that the Black community needs less police, defund the police, much more than Blacks would ever say it. Because when you're in the hood, when you are wrapped up in it, nobody ever says, you know what I would like for this community that's dangerous and drug-ridden and gang-infested? I want less police. Nobody says that. Really, what you hear is the police don't come around enough. I call, they don't come quick enough. It's usually a complaint about the police not being there as much. Okay, what you're going to see are police that are posted up in areas at the behest of the community. I remember this project back in Portsmouth, Virginia. They had a police little, I don't know if we want to call it a station or some kind of outpost right in the project. Like they were stationed there 24/7. It's like a little building they be in 24/7. Okay, because the community wanted it. They understand that they're living in a dangerous area and they got to have security. This is not rocket science. So this whole thing about defund the police, nobody really wants that in the hood. People that don't live there, people that have no experience there, they want it for the hood. That's generally how that goes. Just like AOC. AOC talking about, oh, they're robbing and looting and whatnot because they're trying to get bread. Nobody's trying to get bread when they robbing and looting and stuff like that. That's not what it is. You got guys trying to get cell phones, sell them real quick on Craigslist and eBay and everywhere else. You got guys trying to get money. Anybody trying to get bread. You got food stamps. Everybody abuses those First of the month, go to Walmart, you're gonna see carts packed from the rear to the front, back, side to side, top to bottom, with ding dongs, ho hos, popsicles, pop tarts, Kool-Aid, all that good stuff. Okay, straight junk on the first of the month. Anybody trying to get no bread, you got a problem with obesity in the hood because of all the free food and free things that are around. If you see guys that are robbing and stealing, they're trying to get money, and people don't like that. Nobody likes the thief. Nobody likes the criminal, the home invader, or nothing like that. Nobody likes these criminals that are out there. The people in the community that generally want less police are the criminals. If you ride around your car all day smoking weed, selling drugs, shooting people, selling guns illegally, you want less police because you want less heat on your back. You want to be able to do your dirt and get away with it. Okay, this whole thing about defunding the police is not popular at all. It's popular among those that want to destroy this nation, the Marxists and the communists that have invaded our community many times. It's popular among them. But go down to the hood. You know one thing about these so-called protests, really riots, they're happening not necessarily in residential areas. They're happening in like commercial districts downtown or in mostly non-black areas. Like they're in Portland, Oregon and Provo, Utah. They're not really where we're at. Okay, same thing with the NFAC guys. Remember that guy, the real Grandmaster Jay, shooting at a sheep from 30 yards away with his rifle, missed the whole sheep. But anyway, guys like that were down in Stone Mountain. Why are you in Stone Mountain, sir? Go 30 minutes west, go onto the perimeter, go down zone 3, zone 6, and talk to people that's right there and see what they want rather than protesting this giant rock in Stone Mountain. That's what it is. It's actually a big rock, not really a mountain, but anyway, you're protesting this giant smooth rock with a carving on the side when you could be out there talking to the people right in the hood. That's what you should be doing. And if you talk to people, you'll find out that we don't want less police. We don't hate the police. We actually want more police. This whole thing about police brutality and stuff like that is what you see on TV. Okay, this is why I come in here and speak this way all the time, because I'm from it. I know it. Not only am I from it and I know it, I've also studied it on an academic level. Okay, these people that are out here talking about defund the police, hands up, don't shoot, holding the time, talking about Black Lives Matter, they have never really lived this life. And if they have lived this life, they're being dishonest because they understand what the real problem is. It ain't the police, it ain't the white man, it's the criminal element in the community. That's the problem. And in order to rid the community of the criminal element, you got to have law enforcement be able to do their job. So we support the police, regardless of what you hear and what you see on TV. That's misleading. It ain't real. That's phony. That's fake. And that's a way to try and tug on your heartstrings and whatnot. Oh, look at the poor black guy in the hood. We got to defund the police. That's not going to help at all. That'll make things worse. We've already seen the effects. We've already seen the results. Homicide up 240% in Atlanta, mostly black city, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, etc. Okay, you got to have the police being able to do their job, fully funded, and that's just what it is. Okay, I don't care what any of these numbnuts and BLM want to talk about. We need to have the police there. And the poll shows you everything that you want to know. And if you don't believe me, I'll link to my source in the description box below. I already had it on the screen. I spoke about it. I talked about it. And like I said, you can see it in the box. But as I close, I want to say this. Like I was saying earlier, the poll revealed an important thing, that most people, regardless of what your color is, pretty much feel the same about the police. We're not in favor of defunding the police. We're not into this whole far leftist thing. Most regular normies, your average Joe out there working and just hanging out with friends or whatever, taking care of the kids, they're not into this far leftist stuff, okay? They're not even really political, to be honest with you. So if they're not political, they're not going to be far left or far right. They're pretty much just in the center, kind of apolitical. They're not going to be for a thing that calls for less police and more crime. That makes no sense. That makes absolutely zero sense. Everyone, regardless of who they are, where they are, want more safety. I'm not saying the police are going to protect you 100%. I advise you go out there, practice your rights according to the Constitution, and protect yourself. Second Amendment, get your arms and train. I do advise you do that. But the police are there to provide proactive measures for security and also to wrangle up the bad guys that you might not be able to see, that you might not be able to do anything with, to wrangle them up, lock them away, so you have a safer environment in which you can live, to where you don't have to be outside just trying to shoot and duck and all that all day, every day. Okay. When you're in the bed at night trying to sleep, you don't get the straight coming through your wall or your window, hitting you in the head by just trying to be peaceful. So I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that I'm correct about my assertion about the black community, especially in the low income parts of the black community? We need more police, not less. I'm saying it, the poll's saying it. Go out to any hood right now and ask random people. Go to DC, go to New York, go to Houston, go to LA. Nobody's really going to say we need less police unless they're some kind of paid activist, somebody that's not from the hood, a person like AOC, grew up in a real nice area. Nothing against growing up in a nice area, but before you say things about low income areas, a hood or whatever, become educated about it in the real way. Don't just read these books that they give you in academia, these brainwashing manuals. Talk to actual people that are out there and see what's really going on. Observe what's happening. If you got a high crime area, how does removing the police make sense to do? It's just not a logical, common sense way to approach a situation. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.